Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's match 46. There are 3 to go, and this is the men's 3rd and 4th place playoff. Please put your hands together and welcome to the pitch for the last time this weekend the teams from Japan and Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka going down in their semi-final against Hong Kong, 21 points to 0, no answer for a nice performance from Hong Kong. And Japan with a loss against their near neighbours Korea, 28-21. A good fillip for Korea as they approach the Asian Games. Can they go on to give Hong Kong a hurry up? Well, that'll be interesting to see as well. Certainly have looked like one of the favourite teams over the weekend, Korea. And Korea certainly played well against Japan, tying up Lemeki as well. He couldn't influence the game at all, no matter how hard he tried. And physically the Koreans were very impressive too. But let's get on with this 3rd and 4th playoff. It's Marija who's penalised first up, and Lemeki gets his mitts on the ball. The referee Toby Lothian. And Topa charges forth, and this will be a big assignment if you're a Sri Lankan player to try and wrap your arms around those massive thighs of Topa. No one successful on that occasion, so he scores the first try in this playoff game. And it's 5-0 after 30 seconds.
It's the power base now that Japan will have as full-time professional players over the part-timers of Sri Lanka late in the tournament. Late on Sunday afternoon, last game. I think that the extra power and pace of these professional boys from Japan is going to be a tall order for Sri Lanka to compete against, and already that power being shown in the first play.
He's got that over. Curling it in with the big swinger.
And a successful conversion from the boot of
Somayama.
Shigenori Somayama. Japan 7, Sri Lanka yet to score.
So goes right, and some good flying in mid-air, but it's Ishizuka couldn't pull it down. He's been a strong performer this weekend too, Ishizuka. Manages to get the start after coming off the bench for most of the games this weekend, only 20 years old. Playing at Seiji University.
Japan superb at making a mess.
Again. Oh, he's just striding away. And the Sri Lankans finding it very, very hard to contain him.
Key to the game though is going to be, Mike, early on. We can see it. Japan are superb at it, masters of it in Asia. Struggle at the next level, but obviously, you know, being on a circuit, you'll see increased performance levels. But it's that contact area. They make a mess of the contact area. They make it difficult to officiate, referee, and certainly difficult to retain the possession in that contact area. And again, a critical turnover which allowed them an easy score under the post.
And the second conversion.
Sri Lanka always found it hard to cope with Japan. A couple of big losses last year at semi-final and quarter-final time. Maybe just a little lack of confidence from the Sri Lankan players too.
I think as well, as you said earlier, Mike, it's that late stage in the tournament where, to be fair to Sri Lanka, they're part-time, working full-time. It's where we were as Hong Kong 3 or 4 years ago, and it's difficult against these full-time Japanese players who are in the gym 4 or 5 times a week. It's the stage of the tournament. It's difficult, particularly under these weather conditions as well.
It's a lovely restart from Somayama. Equally good work from Ratwate, but his teammates can't gather the ball, so it's Japan again. Topa decides to pass this time, and Lemeki, his turn to shine, and gets those thighs pumping. Didn't really need to give it to Ishizuka, but a reward for the young 20-year-old from the skipper Lemeki. Pat on the back as well, and look at that smile. the young 20-year-old in his third year of university, and a good try in the third try of the game for Japan.
The structure in Japan as well, Mike, you know more about it than me really, but their university structure is such a feeder for their league clubs in the top division of the Japanese league, and you see these guys coming through, then working for companies, and they seem to have got their development structure spot on for the nation as it exists within the academia as well, that exists with these guys already in year 2 and 3 of degree courses.
Yeah, although in the past national coach Eddie Jones has been very critical of the way that they're delivered physically, the university players. The strength and conditioning is sometimes ignored, but Yoshizuka, he's slight of frame, but certainly has the attributes to be a strong and powerful rugby player. As we see Topa, who's certainly a strong and powerful rugby player, go to ground, gets good support from Somiyama, and here's Ishizuka, the try scorer. Commits 2 defenders and places the ball nicely for Somiyama. Gets it to Takamori. I haven't seen much of him this weekend. Takamori, and thought he was away there. And indeed, Ishizuka, he's got a taste for the try line. He likes it and gobbles up another one.
Putting the Sri Lankans under the pressure, the physicality. And unfortunately for this third-fourth playoff, I think the Sri Lankans now, it's going to be a long second half. 2 minutes to go with the first half. 28-0, and a long day left at the office for the Sri Lankan players.
Well, they have had a big 3 or 4 weeks, some of these players. Commonwealth Games and 2 legs at the Carlton Sevens, where they went at it. Some of the world's top sevens exponents visiting the island. DJ Forbes, Mickelson, the Kiwis were there. Lots of Pacific Island players as well went in their droves to play sevens rugby in Sri Lanka. Good to see.
Were you able to go down, Mike, for that?
No, sadly the air ticket never arrived from the potential sponsors, sadly, but would have loved to. From watching the highlights on one of the local rugby channels, and certainly looks like a great venue, that one down by the sea at Gaul, I think it is. Here's Chaturanga, and we saw him come on and make a difference earlier too in the semi-final. And good work from Chaturanga, just showing the young boys what to do. So that's a ray of sunshine for Sri Lanka and Chaturanga.
Fantastic individual skills. First try of the match for Sri Lanka, and certainly one of the tries of the tournament for number 8, Dinusha Chaturanga.
Yeah, one of the veterans of Sri Lankan rugby. He's captained the national sevens team years ago, and also underage teams in his younger days, and really showing the way forward. And underlining the fact they should never give up. Some of these young boys are in the team 18, 19 years old. But I would like to be on record that I love to go to the Carlton Sevens in future years.
They tell me, and myself, Mike. So
talking to Namal and Yosita Rajapaksa earlier this year, and they were saying they'd love to have me down, but sadly the ticket got lost in the...
I'm sure they're looking for a deal with a team, Mike,
yes,
to look after it. So keep me in mind if the ticket does arrive.
Well, it would be a long 5 days on the beach in Gaul waiting for the next leg to arrive, I think, wouldn't it? Don't know what I'd do other than enjoy myself. Topa comes away to Ishizuka, and here's the flyer on the wing. Ito. He hasn't featured much this weekend either, Ito, so they're giving all the bench a run, and that's half-time. And Japan have been the dominant team, that's for sure. 28 points to 7 over Sri Lanka at half-time. I got Alicia, the contract down in Sri Lanka too. The Navy boys were looking for. skiffle. Put me down for that.
My old man's a decimal. Sorry, we're just talking about music here. You joining in?
I'm not sure that's as he's saying he lives in a council flat. Boom, boom. All right, back to the rugby. 28-7. And Ishizuka, he's relishing his time on the paddock. 2 tries and playing well. Here's Topa, who set up the first 2 tries as well. Just strolling over. Powerful exhibition from Topa. There he is again over the top of the ball, securing possession. Lemeki, who's been subdued this weekend. Saw him a couple of times on day 1. Changed the course of the game against China especially. Since then he's just been cruising, and Topa makes it look oh so easy, and Lemeki with a link to Goko, who's on the outside. And then from Honda.
First try of the second half to Japan's go-to man, number 5, Shonya Goto.
Japan, so I'm sure we're all following with intense concentration. Some brilliant rugby played in that top league. It's a shame that the rest of the world can't see it. I think there are only chances in New Zealand where it's on Sky New Zealand, a game a week, but having followed it myself for an American network for a couple of years,
from Shigenori Sonoyama
the
is
speed,
good.
the precision is all there, and it's a real shame that it's not distributed around the world.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of it in Hong Kong, and you know, or in Asia in general. So we're aware of the strength of it, obviously, because it keeps Japan at the top table. Just moving recently into the top 10 in World Rugby.
Victory over Italy as well, and to add to their victory over Wales last year.
Well, I would like to add, you know, the contribution of the Hong Kong Rugby Football Union to the recent form, with Lee Jones being taken on board and remaining undefeated after Eddie pinching him from Hong Kong following our successful A5N campaign. But Lee's enjoying his time with Eddie.
Sure. The Jones boys. Here's Topa again.
Notice how I bypassed that comment about the Wales defeat.
Yes, you did.
Most people missed it, and amongst all the other internationals at the time,
yeah,
particularly with the Lions tour, because probably, as you'll know, the Lions were out beating Australia.
Yes.
Sorry, Wales were out beating Australia.
No, Wales were out beating Australia. So, oh, nice stepping. Beautiful play from Takumi Ito. I think he's been stung by the fact he hasn't played all day today, Ito. First choice last year. Somiyama goes over for a try to get it out.
A well-deserved try.
To a huge margin now.
Taking all the kicks, number 12, Shigenori Somiyama.
You can see this is a 7-minute, 7 each week game. 2 fit individuals, sorry, 2 very fit teams with professional athletes on the one team, and they are blowing. And we've got a final ahead of us. There's 4 minutes left in this game, and we're looking forward to the final, Korea versus Hong Kong, where it's extended to 10 minutes each way in this heat. So that game contextual control, which we'll talk a little bit more about in the course of the game, Michael, is going to be vital in that 10 minutes each way.
A fantastic conversion of his own try by Shigenori
That'll be the end of
Somiyama.
his day's contribution. He's played well, Somiyama.
Japan 42.
I'm sure there'll be a position for him even when
Lanka 7.
Katsuyuki Sakai comes back into the squad. 42-7 now. This is really a blowout victory for Japan, and there'll be a free kick. Haven't seen Will Wara in this game either, just made a tackle moments ago, but he's another player who's really exploded on the scene as well, and look forward to seeing him throughout this 7 series. There's Damapala. Gets them to 10 metres, head high tackle, so Mutu Tantri takes it quickly. Marija. And oh, a lovely step inside off the left foot twice. And takes on the defence as well. Quick ball. Mutu Tantri to Chaturanga, already scored a brilliant individual try, and certainly knows the way to the try line. Chaturanga, and that's why they've got him in the squad. Solid performance.
Great to see Sri Lanka not giving up, you know, staying in it, playing with a lot of pride with 3 minutes, 4 minutes left on the clock, and fantastic to see their head still held high in another fine try.
He's one of a lot of people don't know category that Chaturanga, quite a fine table tennis player, one of the better table tennis players in Sri Lanka.
Wide, so
this guy?
Yes.
Oh, that's very
quick reflexes too, to be assured of, as well as the fast footwork.
I can see the transfer to fast footwork. I'm quite, with regards to the actual bat and ball, I can't see the turnover to make him such a special sevens player, but indeed he has. Just being brought off now, I think, Mike.
Yeah, no, it was a good shift for him. Came on after 3 or 4 minutes, and now his day is finished with 2 minutes left in this clash. Nice high jump there from Ishizuka. And a little knock on by Topa in the contact area. And nice hustling there too from Marija, who's all of a sudden looking determined in the last couple of minutes, spurred into action. So next leg of this series will be in 2 weekends' time in Kuala Lumpur. Looking forward to that one too, and it'll be very interesting to see how Japan react to this 3rd place position. Are you expecting a stronger squad from Malaysia?
I think we'll see some inclusions of some of their more powerful players in terms of the Asian Games, but because they're using it to increase their playing base, but also they have to focus on winning the gold medal at the Asian Games. So I'm sure that they'll be introducing some more experience for the next leg.
Matsui with a kick and chase, but ball beat him into touch.
Of course, as well, Mike, people need to remember that Japan are not competing for a slot in the Hong Kong Sevens this year in the playoffs. They won't be one of the 2 Asian teams required to qualify, because they're obviously on the call, which they achieved in Hong Kong last year. So it frees up another opportunity for another Asian team. If Japan are to finish in the top 2, we'll be looking at the 2nd and 3rd, or the third place team for a place in Hong Kong.
Herat, who hasn't had as much play as he's accustomed to, Herat, with the emergence of Wirara. So the full-time whistle blows, and I think it's Ranjan who comes away with the ball here. Good determined run. Breaks down now. And Muthatantri has been omnipresent. In fact, here's Ranjan. That might have been Damakala earlier. Here's Herat, reaching the 22 now, and a penalty against Japan. Playing the ball on the ground there, Matsui. Kasagi, sorry. Pereira. Well, they haven't stopped trying some of these younger players from Sri Lanka. That's another Pereira, Haranka Pereira. Breaks down now though, and that will be the end of this 3rd and 4th playoff in Japan, with a great victory over Sri Lanka, 42 points to 12.
With the scores, Japan 42, Sri Lanka 12. So Japan are our 3rd place bronze medal winners for this tournament, and those medals will be presented after the men's cup final. But please show your appreciation to both teams, Japan and Sri Lanka.
I think I'll be okay. I might have to go off there on occasion.
Put your heart on your sleeve, will you?
I'm better.
We're above all that, you know.
I'm better occupied in the box with you, calming me down for the historic moment at which 2 Hong Kong
this
teams.
Is the hand signal, all right? I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you a little push down in intensity, all right?
But, yeah, it's a special occasion.